Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be explaining the overdrive mechanic. This is a new mechanic that was added to JP about a month and a half ago, so I guess it's not that new anymore. But many players on Global aren't entirely sure the way it works. I myself wasn't completely sure how it worked until now that I've tried it out myself. Now I fully understand it, and now I can hopefully explain it to the rest of you so that it's more clear how Overdrive works. So what is Overdrive? Overdrive is a new type of unit, basically. So originally, Neovisions had Brave Shifting. Then they got Super Limit Burst. Now the third type of unit is an Overdrive unit. An Overdrive unit will only have one form, kind of like SLB units. They cannot Brave Shift. But unlike SLB, they only have one limit burst. They don't have like a weaker version and then the real version on a cooldown. They just have one single LB that is fully powered, can use it at any EX level, at any time. You can spam it every single turn at max power. So it's really, honestly, a lot better than SLB. But of course, you don't have the Brave Shift like a Brave Shift unit, which, you know, depending on the fight, can matter, might not matter, it depends. In any case, yeah. So at the current time in JP, there's only 4 Overdrive units. The first one was the new Vaughn. He's like the spearhead of the fire movement. He's the fire leader. He's a good fire damage. He's got Overdrive. He's the first Overdrive unit. The next one was Arus from Dragon Quest Roto, a collaboration unit. The next one was the new Cloud, which I'm going to be using to demonstrate in this video. And after that, the new Tifa is also Overdrive. If there's any others that I missed, let me know in the comments. But I think at the current time, there's only 4 of them. So let me go ahead and show you real quick. So right here, you can see Drive Shift. And it's a little strange because really, the Overdrive has nothing at all to do with limit bursting. I'm not entirely sure why they're kind of like making it like a connected to LB, because it's not. Anyway, so Drive Shift is an Overdrive buff. You'll notice here, this is a 300% all stat buff for 2 turns. And this stacks with everything. Yeah, it's just a stacking buff. It stacks with normal buffs. It stacks with fields. It stacks with focus. It stacks with berserk. It's just a stacking with everything buff. And 300% stats on top of everything is a really big deal. For like Neo Plus units, that's something in the ballpark of 3,000 flat stats, which is huge. That's huge. I don't know percentages without doing the math, but it's a big damage bump. So, how do you activate Drive Shift? I'm going to go ahead and bring you into a battle and demonstrate it in battle. So let's go ahead and pop over to the training dummy. And I will show you how this works. So we're going to go to the Tower of Wind. And let's jump in here. So, okay, let's get in here real quick so I can explain it. So, in battle, you can see on Overdrive units, at the top right corner, that's your Overdrive meter. I'm not sure if they all take 10. They probably do, but I only own Cloud, so I can't check the others. But Cloud, and probably all of them, will take 10 actions to fill the Overdrive meter until you can use it. Also, just real quick, a quick note. If you use the wiki for Brave Exvius, at the current time of this video, the wiki is not currently updated to properly display Overdrive units. So if on the wiki you're looking at a JP unit that doesn't have a Brave Shift, and they also don't have a Super Limit Burst, they're probably an Overdrive unit, and the wiki just is not currently updated to display that properly. Anyway, how do you fill this Overdrive gauge to use it? You fill it by using actions from the proper category. So each Overdrive unit has their specific category that their overdrive is assigned to. Vaughn is for the Gathering. Arus is for World Saviors. That's a new category coming later. Cloud is for Rebellion. And Tifa is for Guardians. And the overdrive meter is filled by using actions from the matching category. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of action you use or how many. The unit simply taking their turn is going to fill the overdrive meter by 1 if they match. For example, we're going to just normal attack with Maria. Notice that filled 1 on the overdrive gauge. Because Maria is a rebel, we'll use the LB of Ramza. Notice that also filled 1 on the gauge because he is he's a rebel as well. Notice on Aerith, we'll go ahead and quadcast. We'll use a bunch of stuff, kind of whatever. But notice, even though we're quadcasting, it still only fills 1 point. So it doesn't matter what that matching unit does, it only fills 1 point. So as long as they take their turn, it's going to fill the overdrive meter by 1. Now, people that do not match the category, for example, Merilith taking their turn, they will not fill the gauge because they don't match the overdrive category. And we'll go ahead and use Cloud as well. And the unit themselves does count. Obviously, the unit will always match their own category. So now we're at 4 out of 10 overdrive. We're going to go ahead and use our turns again and get to 8 out of 10. Now, if we were using like a 6-man party with everyone being the matching category, like 6 rebels, or even 5 rebels, we could have had overdrive ready to go by turn 2. But, it doesn't matter because, you'll eventually fill the overdrive gauge. There's no time limit, other than whatever fight you're doing. But it'll be there until you use it or until it fills up. So we're at 8 out of 10. We're going to go ahead and just use 2 more actions from Rebels to max it out. Notice as soon as we click Maria, it's going to instantly activate. No, it's going to instantly enable Cloud's overdrive. It will not activate it. So there we go. Maria did her action. That's 10 matching overdrive units. We're now good to go. So it's available, but until we decide to use it, it doesn't do anything. It's just available at this point. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just real quick normal attack the rest, just so that I can show you the next turn with everyone's action free. Yeah, you can save this until you're ready to use it. Once it's charged, it's good to go. So, what is Overdrive? Overdrive is a stacking, I already explained that, a stacking buff. Now, the buff will only apply to the matching categories. Notice on this window here, 4 of our 5 units are Rebellion. They will all get the Overdrive buff. Notice how Merilith is grayed out because she is not a rebel. Therefore, she will not get the Overdrive buff. Now, what is Overdrive? I already explained that, a stacking buff. So we're going to real quick use Aerith's LB just to give you some comparisons. So with Aerith's 400% stat buff, Cloud is at 25,000 or 25,400 attack power. Now we're going to go ahead and activate the Overdrive buff. Now the Overdrive buff, by the way, you don't have to activate it the turn before. You can activate it on the kill turn itself because, as you're going to see right here, it's actually a free action to do it. So right here, also you get a cool animation, as you see right here. There, we activated the Overdrive buff. It's now active. And notice how Cloud is still available to act. It does not consume your turn. It is a complete free action to turn on the Overdrive buff. And now notice Cloud has 28,000 attack power. So my Cloud is only EX1, so he doesn't scale quite as well, but that added 2,600 attack power. If my Cloud was EX3, it would have added about 3,000 attack power. So as you can see, Overdrive is incredibly powerful. And you'll notice here that you see the Overdrive buff, this little stacking buff. So here's the normal stat buff, and here's the little D. That's the Overdrive buff. And then you'll notice over here, like Ramza, he has it as well. So does Maria up here. But you'll notice Merilith does not have Overdrive because she is not an Overdrive unit. So yeah, so then you can just, you can do your burst turn, and everyone that is of the matching category has, the Overdrive buff. And you do a lot more damage. That applies to the whole party. So that's why you kind of want to, if possible, build a party that, at the very least, all your damage dealers will match the category. Now, you don't want to take like a bad damage dealer over a good one just because they match the category and your other one does not. But clearly, the most powerful teams of all will have all their DPS matching the Overdrive category. And once you use it, by the way, you can refill it again. So you'll notice right here, you can start filling it a second time. Now, the Overdrives do have charges, Magnus charges. I believe they can only be used 3 times per battle. So for like a really long trial fight, you get 3 burst. In Dark Visions, obviously only 1 turn matters. But yeah, so Overdrive can be used 3 times per fight, but you do have to fill that gauge each time before you use it. So yeah, that's how Overdrive works. So at the current time, Vaughn is the first Overdrive unit, and he is for the Gathering category. The next one is Arus for the World Savior category. After that, you've got Cloud for the Rebellion category, and then the new Tifa for Guardians category. And that's a quick primer on how Overdrive works. Yeah, it's not connected to the Limit Burst whatsoever. So that's, a little confusion that if some people had, that they thought that Overdrive would like replace your LB or something. It's not the case. Overdrive is just a free action buff that stacks with everything at all. So, at the high end, about 3,000 extra stats for your matching category units. Okay, hope it's been informative. See you in a bit.